Now, vegetative is anything which is not related to reproduction, and propagation means increasing in number, that is reproducing. So these two you can see are contradictory terms: vegetative, not related to reproduction; propagation, reproduction. So how are these two terms combined together to produce this topic, vegetative propagation? Now, vegetative, first we'll understand, this is a plant. You can see it has root, stem, leaves. Now, the main function of root is not propagation, not reproduction. The main function of root is absorption of water and anchoring. Similarly, the main function of stem is supporting the plant, and the main function of leaf is photosynthesis. But in case of vegetative propagation, these vegetative parts of plant are modified or are used to propagate the plant. So a part of root or a modification of root will be able to produce a new plant. A part of stem or a modification of stem will be able to form a new plant, and similarly leaf will be able to produce a new plant. This is known as vegetative propagation, propagation of a plant through vegetative parts. Now, the characters of vegetative propagation: it is a type of asexual reproduction, which means only one parent is involved. It occurs in flowering plants because stem, leaf, root, these are parts of flowering plants. Vegetative parts of plants such as root, stem, leaves, these develop into new plants, and finally these new plants are capable of both vegetative and sexual reproduction. Now, on the basis of which vegetative part is to be. Now, here you can see two stem modification. This is the bulb of onion and the tuber of potato. Now, both of these are stem modification. Stem, as we just discussed, is supposed to provide support to the plant, but these are types of or modifications of stem which are involved in propagation. Both onion and potato happen to be seedless plant, and they are propagated through bulb and tuber respectively. Similarly, we have leaf. You can see this leaf here. On the margin of this leaf you can see there are buds arising. Now these buds are a means of vegetative propagation. They are produced on the margin of leaves. This is a plant known as bryophyllum. Now here you can see there are roots coming out of the bud. So as soon as these roots come in contact with soil, they begin to produce new plants. So all you have to do is detach this bud along with the root, keep them in soil, and a new plant will be formed. And you can see how many buds are there on the margin of leaf. So as many plants can be produced simultaneously. Discussed up till now was natural methods of vegetative propagation which a plant adopts to propagate itself. There are certain artificial methods of vegetative propagation which we humans, as farmers, as gardeners, we use to make new plants from the parent plants that we have. Some of these methods are cutting, grafting, and layering. We'll do layering first. As you can see, in layering, a part of the stem is covered with soil. Now the part which is covered with soil will develop roots. Once this develops root, it is detached from the main plant and it is grown as a new plant. So from the parent plant you are getting a new plant. Now the other method that we do is grafting. Here two varieties of the same plant are taken. One bud stalk and the other is the stem stalk. In the stem stalk, the bud stalk or the scion is inserted and it is allowed to grow. Now when this new plant grows, it will have certain tissues of the scion and the certain tissues of the stalk, so that the new plant will have characters of both varieties. So grafting is a method where you can combine characters from two plants. Now, what are the advantages of vegetative propagation? The very first advantage is that certain plants which do not produce seeds, such as banana, rose, jasmine, potato, they can be propagated through vegetative propagation. The second advantage is that since it is a method of asexual reproduction, so genetically similar plants are obtained. There is only one parent and the new plant will be getting all genes of the single parent. So there will be no mixing of character. So if a farmer has a crop variety which is very high yielding, very sturdy variety, and he wants progeny to have all those characters, he can go for asexual reproduction so that the new crop will also have exactly same characters as the parent plant. It is a very fast process. You just saw in Bryophyllum how many plants can be produced from one leaf simultaneously, and large number of plants can be produced. So in a short duration we get a large number of plants. And if you want to mix characters, then grafting can be done to mix characters from two different varieties of desired plants. Saw in vegetative propagation was we took an organ and we induce division in the cells of that organ. For example, a stem or a leaf, the cells of the stem or leaf or root were induced to divide and they were then induced to form a new organ. For example, in layering, the stem was induced to produce roots. So what we are doing here is going in the reverse direction of level of organization. The level of organization is from cell to tissue to organ. We are going from organ to tissue to cell. Now, since we are interested in the tissues, what if we skip the organ and directly take the tissues? We take the tissues, induce the cells to divide. These mass of cells will undergo differentiation and produce organ. So instead of taking the stem, root or leaf, we extract a mass of tissues and then continue with the same process of vegetative propagation. This process is known as tissue culture. Now, what is tissue culture? Let's see the features. It is culturing tissues taken from the growing parts of plant. The stress is on growing parts. This we'll discuss soon. You take the growing parts, place them in artificial culture medium. The cells begin to divide and they form an undifferentiated mass of cells which is known as callus. Now, in this callus, you have to induce differentiations. These differentiations can be induced by providing the plant, the callus, with certain growth regulators or growth hormones that will cause formation of particular type of organ. Then finally, plantlets or very small plants can be developed. Now we come back to the point, growing parts. What are growing parts? The plant parts which have the ability to increase in length or increase in girth. Now last year in the lesson tissues, you studied about the type of meristems, apical, intercalary and lateral. Now these meristems are either present at the tip of the plant or on the nodes. So every time when you are taking tissue culture, you have to either take the node or the root or stem tip. Why? Because these are the cells which are capable of dividing. If you take internode areas, cells from the internode areas, those cells will not divide. So tissue culture is not possible. Similarly, when you are performing grafting or when you are performing layering, the part of stem that you have to use should have the node. What will happen if it doesn't have the node? Think about it and you let me know in the comments. Now, with this we come to the end of vegetative propagation. This is another method of asexual reproduction. Make it very clear, spore formation is not a method of vegetative propagation because spore is not a vegetative part of plant. it is specially produced for the purpose of asexual reproduction. So it is a type of asexual reproduction. Here special structures known as spores are formed, and it is common in algae and fungi. Now this activity you have done, this is bread mold or blue-green mold. We had done this in the previous session. Here you can see blue-green color velvet-like structures are growing in bread which is gone stale. Now if we take these blue-green structure and see them under the microscope, this is what we are going to see. This is a fungal hyphae. Now this hyphae is the horizontally growing structure of fungus. When it starts to reproduce asexually, vertical structures, vertical stalks are produced. At the tip of these stalks are round structures known as sporangium. These sporangium are blue-green in color till the time they are immature, and once they are mature, they begin to dry and they turn black in color. Inside this sporangium are a mass of spores. Sometimes thousands of spores are present in one sporangium. So once it matures, becomes black or dark brown in color, it dries up and bursts, releasing the spores. Now the mass of spores produced, when they land on a suitable substrate, a suitable place, they will begin to germinate and will form new fungal hyphae. So this is known as spore formation. It is a method of asexual reproduction in fungi and algae. With this, we come to the end of this session. The asexual reproduction part of your lesson is complete. These are your questions. Try solving them and let me know if you have any problem. Thank you.